Hello YouTubers! This week's video I'll be explaining how I got through Thanksgiving while on Wegovy. Hello YouTubers! This video is after Thanksgiving, so this is the Wednesday afterwards. It's also after the second Sunday when I took my second injection, the 0.50 or the 5 milligrams of the Wegovy, which is a higher dosage. And so just a couple little things that I wanted to touch base on to kind of let you know how things are going. First of all, getting through the holiday. Uh, that wasn't quite so hard as I thought it would be. I had Thanksgiving down at my daughter's place. She had an awful lot of, or there was an awful lot of appetizers available, which I had taken down myself. But I was able to enjoy some of it and still not get overfilled and overdo it. Um, as it turned out, I took down some salmon, smoked salmon. Took down some dips and some crackers. I also took down some shrimp cocktail, which that went rather well. I nibbled on that somewhat. Uh, I also indulged a little bit, and whereas they had a chocolate fountain going on, so I had some cookies that was dipped in chocolate. Also, I had some marshmallows, which I have a sweet spot for, and so didn't overdo it, but I did have a fair share of them. So caloric wise, I probably went pretty much over what I should have for that particular day. But that's one thing about Wegovy and being on this program. You're allowed to do this once in a while. Excuse me, once in a while. You don't want to overdo your calorie intake on a daily basis. But when you do have a situation like this, you don't want to starve yourself. You don't want to hate the holiday coming up because you're going to miss out on a lot of the nice things. So yes, I had some appetizers. I had some turkey. I had the dressing. I had some gravy. I had some. For myself, I stayed away from the mashed potatoes, but I did put the gravy on my dressing. And I also put it on my turkey like I always do. I also had cranberry sauce, and as well as a couple other sides. I ate conservatively or sensibly, um, and I was full when I got done. I was offered dessert several times, but I just stayed away from it. And I thank the Wegovy system or the Wegovy medication to help me with that temptation. I just did not feel like it. Later on, after we had done cleaning off the table, they still had the appetizer table going, and there was some sweets up there. And again, I had some more marshmallows with chocolate on them, and I also had some vanilla wafers with chocolate on it or whatever, some dessert. But I took it easy. Had a little bit of punch, and as I said, my caloric intake was pretty high. I'd say it was well above what I should be taking, and that's over 1,700 calories. So, yes, I did pretty good. So, now I didn't feel bad at all as far as comfort wise. Came home with a little well, my daughter had fixed up a little take home package for me. And so I had some ham in it, and I had a piece of ham that night. And so then the rest of the week, I went right back on my program. And checking my scale the day after Thanksgiving or so, I had gone up a couple of pounds. But then I knew that over the period of time that I was going to be back on that schedule, that I would drop those pounds, and I did, and I'm back down and I'm on the decline as far as on my weight. So that's been a very good thing. So Another thing I wanted to kind of touch base on a little bit is I talked about moving different locations as far as where you want to take and put your shot or take your injection. And in the past, I had been using around my navel area. This last Sunday, I did it differently, and I put the injection on my outer thigh on my right leg. And so what I did was to pinch the fat, and then while I was pinching the fat with one hand, I pressed the pen like so into the other side, or onto the top of it, and I followed the regular instructions. And it went well. I didn't have a problem with it. To be honest with you, I find it a little easier to do it in my stomach because I've got a lot more fat there, and it's not quite so difficult to hold on to it. So now next Sunday I'll probably try to do it on the other leg. Might be a little difficult because I'm right-handed, so we'll see how that works out, and I'll let you know next month. So now during the week, um, my activity has gotten back up to what it usually does. Um, Today I had my third day of GeoFit for this week, and so I'm kind of back up on speed on that. Tomorrow I'll be taking the day off, and then on Friday I'll have one more day of GeoFit, before the weekend. And so other things I've been doing, of course, we've had some heavy snow, so I've gotten outside and I have, you know, shoveled and blown snow with a snow blower. So not very strenuous, and I don't want to overdo it. You know, at the age of 74 and overweight, I don't really want to push my chances too much. So, but the snow blower, I can do it fine. So, my diet. I last week I kind of finished off my cabbage soup, and so actually I might have finished it off on Monday, and so now I'm kind of doing just a regular diet. Eggs the last two mornings with some turkey bacon, some low calorie wheat toast, a little bit of jelly on it. Uh, and then, of course, my V8 juice, which I have every morning. And so, then, of course, coffee. Um, the last couple of days, I've been taking my protein shake for lunch. And then at night, I might eat a little bit more. I've been having a salad. I've got an avocado that I usually on every salad, I will cut the avocado in half and then quarter that or dice that up and put that in along with a couple of hard boiled eggs. And that gives me my protein. I've got the good fats with the avocado. And then I also can add um, cucumber, and then I have a dressing which is a strawberry vinaigrette, which is a very low cal dressing, and it's very tasty. And so, this is from a guy who loves blue cheese and French and Thousand Island, so the creamier dressing. So I find this has been pretty good. Last night I found that I was so low on my calorie intake that I actually heated up a small um, dinner, like a small lasagna dinner, which is just a piece of lasagna or whatever. And that kind of brought me up to about 1,500 calories. So, because I don't want to get down to a deficit. So, although you can do that once or twice a week, and so they call that fasting. So, the important thing is to maintain your diet, keep your proteins, make sure you eat your protein every day because that's going to protect your muscles. Get some exercise, and it doesn't have to be hard, strenuous exercise. The GeoFit program for you veterans is fantastic. I can't say enough for it. That's why I've got my shirt on. again, I had it this afternoon, which is held at 12:30 here in Michigan, and it's something that it just makes you feel a little bit better, and it helps you work off, that little extra weight, get you motivated a little bit, and gets the blood circulating. So, but um, other than that, no, I have not had any side effects that I've noticed. Um, been sleeping good at night. I find I've got to push myself to drink water. I've been doing that a little bit better. And also, I find that having a cup of tea at night kind of helps relax me. I get the celestial sleepy time tea, and if I sip on that while I'm watching TV before I go to bed, I usually find that I'm pretty well tired and ready for bed before I even finish the tea. So, but again, it's better than just snacking on things that I shouldn't be eating. So, leaving the crackers and the carbs alone as much as I possibly can. So, that kind of wraps it up pretty much for this week. It's going to be a shorter video, I think, or I hope. Um, I'll come back next week if there's any significant change. Let you know how it's going. Try to give you my change in uh, progress or whatever. One thing I wanted to add is that one of the guests at my daughter's place is actually her fiance's stepdad. I was talking to him, and he asked me if I'd been losing weight because he can tell the difference. And this is only after about five weeks. So that's a little shot in the arm, gives you a little boost of encouragement. And so I'm starting to see a little bit as far as some of the clothes I wear, they're starting to fit a little bit better, not quite as tight. And that gives me a lot more hope as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And most of all, thanks for watching. And please, if you got questions or comments, good or bad, let me know. I answer and I appreciate every one of them. And give me that thumbs up and try to share these videos.